I was living with a killer and I didn't even realize it. I had found this awesome substance that came with a warm hug and a smile and said, I can solve every last one of your problems. All I need is your undivided attention and love. I almost lost my life to this killer, and my best friend lost her life too. And now I speak to those who still have a chance to evict you from their lives. This is my story of overcoming a heroin addiction. Normal 21-year-olds spend their 21st birthday at the bar, surrounded by friends and family. In our society, this is somewhat of a tradition. But for me, I spent my 21st birthday in Tacoma detox, coming down off of a 4-year heroin binge. Let's rewind to 1 week before my birthday. I was sitting at my dad's house. The same place where my IV addiction started is where it just about ended. I had just pushed a plunger down, and I could feel the warm feeling going from my tippy toe all the way up to my head and making its way back down. It was almost euphoric. I had known at that very moment that I had taken too much. Everything was fading to black, and all that was going through my mind was, well, at least I get to go out doing what I love. I get to go out loaded. I always said I want to die like a rock star, all alone in my lost thoughts. And now was that time. Before all went black, I heard a faint cry of my father telling me to hold on, the ambulance was on its way. I woke up to an intervention, surrounded by loved ones telling me that they needed me to live. I was so hesitant at first. All I wanted was a shot. I wanted to feel normal again. I wanted to feel good. Heroin withdrawal is no good. My dad lost a daughter to a drunk driver when she was a baby. So hearing my father tell me, well, I might as well face it, I'm going to have to bury my children, was the last straw, and I knew that I had to get help. So it was off to rehab for me. But first, I had to go to Tacoma detox. Using daily for 4 years takes a toll not only on the body, but the mind. I was sicker than I've ever been in my whole life, and I remember saying, I never want to feel like this again. I never want to feel this pain ever again. Imagine having the flu, but 1,000 times worse. That is heroin addiction. 7 days later, and I was off to Northwest Indian Treatment Center. Well, 45 days into rehab, and graduation day came. I was finished and off to live life in the real world. Drug-free for the first time in what had to have been 9 or 10 years. I was doing amazing. I had a job. I had my own place. I had a car. I was paying my own bills. And then life came and punched me right in the face. I relapsed. Yep, I found my warm hug and a smile once again. I was taught in rehab that relapse is going to happen. So I was clean from June 6th, 2010 to November 2012. I was off chasing my drug again. No job, no home, and a broke-down car. It was chaos. My life was a wreck, and I looked hopeless. As I looked at my life, I thought to myself that I had to get my life together, and I prayed and I prayed and prayed for a sign to not give up, because for drug addicts, it's easy for us to just give up and stay stuck in the same place for years. So on June 24th, I was given my sign. My tribe had called to inform me that I had been selected to live in one of our tribal apartments, which is a lower rent that people can afford. And so for me, that was my sign. I was beyond blessed. I knew I had to get my life together. So I moved before it was another 7 years down the road or I was dead. So I moved into my own place at the end of June and got off heroin again on June 7th, 2013. I decided to detox myself, and I was sick once again, and I knew I never wanted to feel like this ever again. But then 3 weeks later, tragedy struck. After getting clean, my best friend died of a heroin overdose. I had two choices. I could either go out and get high, or I could deal with the emotions. So I decided to deal with the emotions, and I wrote a final goodbye letter to heroin. And I remember, and I vowed to never look back. I remember seeing the hurt that her passing caused. I remember seeing the hurt in not only us, her friends, pain ever again. So I would like to read my final goodbye to heroin. Heroin, you came into my life with a pretty smile and you pretended that you loved me. Told me you could solve all my problems. I looked down at my foot ashamed and see the scars you left over the years. It makes me sick because I still crave you. I can still taste you in the back of my throat. The sound of tinfoil being ripped off the roll is music to my ears. My whole life has been in your hands. My life is mine to take back. I miss you from time to time, when I have a bad day or when I feel lonely. I have watched you do so much damage in my life, and still, I think about you. Why? Why did you have to come into my life with a pretty smile and a promise? You took away my best friend. You're a murderer, and people never realize until it's too late, and you have already taken their last breath. I am saying goodbye to you for the final time. We cannot keep meeting like this. I realize someone out there needs me to keep living, and I will not let you kill me. Farewell. I would like to dedicate this video to my friend Meg, who passed away from an overdose, because I know how proud of me she would be. So, this is for you. Thank you.